G'day, everyone. Just wanted to do a very impromptu live stream. Today is a very special day for me. It's International Women's Day. And I was trying to think, what could I do? What could I say? What could I bring to such a really important day to me um, that I could share with everybody? And the best thing I could come up with that I thought would be the best way for me as a man to add value to International Women's Day is I just wanted to share with you the impact that women have had on my life and how important they are to me. In order to do that, I was blessed about 3 years ago to be a part of a book called Women Leading More Now. And I got to write a chapter in that book. So I just wanted to take the opportunity just to read my chapter actually out. Thank you, Tiana. Yeah, it's a very interesting topic. And I wanted just to read my chapter out to you all and just share with you my thoughts on women, not even just from a leadership point of view, but obviously from the context of leading. So if those who want to participate in this, I'm just going to be reading the chapter from my chapter from the book, Women Leading More Now. And if anyone would like to make any comments as I read through, please feel free to do so. But this is the only way I could think the best way to share the importance of women in my life and what I believe they mean to the world today. So my chapter was titled, It's Time to Lead Differently. And I start off with my daughter, Jordan. She started her own little side hustle at 15 years, and that was like 8 years ago now. Her side hustle is still going today, some 8 years later, impacting the lives of many young people and some of us older ones. Jordan has a mission to give people something positive to sleep on. Basically, it's inspirational messages to read before you go to bed at night so that your mind would be focused on that instead of any negative thoughts. So she called it Something to Sleep On. About a year into her posting her inspirational, positive, heartfelt messages on her Facebook page and Instagram, Jordan asked me how she could make a business out of it. And we started bouncing around some ideas and products she could offer, like T-shirts, coffee mugs, pillowcases, etc., to get her message out there and into the hearts and hands and minds of those she wanted to serve. Now, as her dad and as a business coach, for want of a better term, I wanted to help her out. I also wanted her to find her own mentors and role models that she could look up to in her life. And I remember asking her at the time, who are some of the people in business that she had heard of that she thought might be good business people that she could look towards for her as a mentor or someone to aspire to be like. And at 15 years of age, there was only a few names, of course, that she might know, but the ones that she did share, none of them were women. And in my reflection of my own life and my own career, in the 3 decades of working, I've learned along the way that some of the best leaders I've ever had the pleasure and privilege to work with or serve with, for me, were women. And it got me to believing that women are more naturally in tune with what I believe today is my natural or my own definition of leadership. And perhaps it was developed from working with these amazing women through my whole life that actually helped me to form this definition. But to me, leadership's all about helping other people become the best version of themselves to do their life's best work while in your care and beyond. And, I believe that leaders care about their team as people first, employees second. They understand everyone is human, that they have goals, dreams, and desires. Leaders always ask for your best and help create an emotionally safe environment where you can be your best. You can bring your best self to work. They understand we all make mistakes and help us learn from them. So why do I feel this is more in tune then with women than men? Well, you'd have to ask my mother. Apart from my daughter, my mother is another amazing woman who influenced my life dramatically. Too often it's really to talk about the influence that my dad's had on my leadership and my business abilities as I was growing up in my career. Dad was a wonderful businessman, and even in his retirement has a strong work ethic that I absolutely admire, and he has a very pragmatic approach to life and business. He's still a tremendous volunteer right now. He's still part of Rotary, and someone who believes in developing leadership through community work. He cared deeply about his people and he worked with, but he also took a more logical approach to business. However, my mother, she taught me so much more about being a good human, a man, a father, a brother, and a son than I ever gave her credit for. My mom encouraged me to go after my dreams. She's always had my back, been at that hand on my shoulder to steady me when things got rocky. My mother has always believed in me and held me to be the best I can be. And in rare moments when I was not at my best, and believe it or not, There was certainly some very rare moments when I wasn't at my best. She never judged me. She just held me and gave me the space to get back to my best. Mom nurtured me to be able to be independent, but never to lose connection to what matters, family. Uh, in hindsight, I learned equally, if not more, actually, about leadership from my mother than I did, I believe, from my dad. What I have since learned is that I'm much like my mother in many ways than I ever realized. I believe when growing up, we identify with one of our parents' energy more than that of others. I've always joked that to the women in my life that I'm in tune with my feminine side, and I'm sensitive and nurturing, deeply caring person, not taking anything away from my dad, but I get most of that energy from my mother. Most of what we have called leadership in the world through the 90s and into the first decades of the 2000s, and maybe still in the world today to some extent, uh, is more like modern management rather than real leadership. Organizations spend so much money developing leaders around the globe, yet disengagement rates are on the rise year after year. Clearly, something is wrong, and that leadership to me is still really broken, and it's time to lead different. We live in a world of ecosystems, of boss and subordinate relationships. What the future now requires is an ecosystem of leadership, a world where top down leadership is a thing of the past and all around leadership is the way forward. They want to, people want to be a part of an autonomous teams, independent but interlinked, in a network or community where we all answer to something first, not someone. People want to do meaningful work. They want a work-life integration, not separation. They want someone who believes in them and empowers them to make smarter decisions, someone that they can believe in, who has a vision of the world that's far greater than all of us combined, is really inspiring. They want to feel like equals. They want to be listened to. They want to be rewarded for what they have put into the hours, not the hours that they've put in. People no longer want bosses. They want coaches. They want to be in a safe environment to make mistakes and try new ways and even possibly have a few epic failures that they're rewarded for doing so instead of being punished for doing so. They want people who bring out the best in them, not highlight the worst in them. They want meaningful work and to be part of something special that has values to guide them on how to think, not what to think. They are willing to give perspiration in return for inspiration. What will it take to thrive in this new world of work that we're in? Organizations must nurture new leaders. If they are to continue to thrive into the future, this concept of nurturing doesn't come naturally to the masculine energy, but it does to the female energy. Masculine energy brings protection, logic, and ego, whereas the feminine energy brings care, compassion, and an assurance without ego. If people want for these things, it means it isn't present. It isn't readily available to them. This lack of those things, there's a lack of female energy in the world of leadership. My daughter doesn't have enough role models for her to recognize. Perhaps that's because women just quietly get on with their business and the task at hand instead of seeking acknowledgement like many men do. Lord knows I've always let my wife know when I've finished washing the dishes. No need to guess what her response is. And if she's watching this, she'll know what her response is. But don't tell her I said that if she's not watching this. Thanks, Tiana. Please note that, understanding this imbalance that's in the world and acknowledging it are one step. It's just one step. Doing something about it is another. I'm an all-in, like an all-or-nothing kind of guy. So ever since I realized that there was a lack of women role models for my daughter to recognize, I decided I would do whatever I could to help turn the tide. Now, please understand that what I'm about to share with you is not seeking validation or recognition, but merely demonstrating a point that I hope inspires many other men out there who read this to do the same, or who are listening to this to do the same. About 7 years ago, I reached out to an organization that was looking for women to mentor other women leaders and entrepreneurs. And it was Inspiring Rare Birds. So Joe Burson, if you're watching this or anyone involved in that, please check out Inspiring Rare Birds. They do amazing work helping female leaders and entrepreneurs all around Australia and other parts of the world. I asked them if they were accepting men as mentors in case any women wanted a male mentor. I didn't expect to be asked, to be honest, but I wanted to do something that I thought was a great place to start. And here we are 7 years later, after starting as the first male mentor for Inspiring Rare Birds, and now over 40% of the mentors are actually men. Um, Imagine a world where we have a blend of the masculine and the feminine energy. Well, we don't have that right now. I really believe it's out of balance. I believe in this new world of work, and whatever the future of leadership and work brings, one of the constants will become the need to nurture new leaders. What I also realize is that most of the leadership energy in the world today is masculine energy. In order to close the gap, we need to bring out the best of what women intuitively in terms of the influence of feminine energy. Whether that means we need more women leaders or more feminine energy in leadership to balance out the abundance of masculine energy in the world today, I'm not sure. I just know that what women innately possess, the world needs more of it, not less. So to all the ladies in my life, thank you so much for the role models that you are for me and for my daughter, for everybody in this world. Thank you for the great work that you do. The women I've had the pleasure of working with, working for, the ones I currently work with and for, you mean everything in the world to me. And please continue to stand up and be heard and demonstrate what true leadership is all about. And with that, I'd like to say love you to all of you. And thank you for all the work that you do. And happy International Women's Day. It's a day of celebrating the greatness that women bring to our world, and we need to celebrate more of that. So from me to you, much love.